I'm Ursula Biemann. I'm a Swiss artist and video essayist. We have a show here at MUAC called Devenir Tierra, where we're showing 5 installations that I have done over the last 12 years. They all deal with ecological issues and climate change and shot in very different areas of the world. So it's a very varied proposal that we're showing you. So we're here in a very important piece, very dear to my heart. It's called Forest Law. It was shot in Ecuador. It's a collaboration with the Brazilian architect Paulo Tavares, who has done his PhD research on Ecuador and the transformation of the forest. And so we went together and shot a number of scenes and interviews. And we wanted to focus on the rights of nature, which was really a rising topic that struck us as very interesting, also philosophically speaking. So during our field trip, we also asked, it was striking that these indigenous communities in the Amazon seem to have a very different relationship to the forest and to their territory. So we started to ask them also about their cosmology, and that was really eye-opening because it's just a much more integrated way of understanding oneself as a human being as part of the living forest, as they call it, selva viviente. And the selva viviente is also a place for education, a place where they retire to calm their mind, to meditate, to learn, to communicate with the living species and also with other species that are invisible to our eyes. So that was the beginning of a long-term relationship of my work with indigenous people. So Deep Weather is, we could say, the first video that I made on climate change, on the physical degradation of the planet. Because when you look at the extraction zone in northern Canada, the tar sand regions of Alberta, you just get a sense of the immensity of destruction that took place. That documentation of this extraction moment, I connected to another instance on the other side of the planet in Bangladesh, where people are increasingly struggling with the rising sea because there is not enough land for agriculture elsewhere in Bangladesh, and they're trying to protect the villages in the outer rim of the delta against this rising sea. So these two spots, these two locations on opposite parts of the world are connected through the atmospheric chemistry that is driving climate change global scale. Okay, we're here in the installation of Acoustic Ocean, which I shot in the Lofoten Highlands in Arctic Norway. I wanted to start thinking more about our relationship with particular species also, and created a fictional figure that I invented to mediate certain ideas and to also enact a relationship using a lot of sounds from a sound archive that was recorded by scientists in the 70s of marine mammals, fish, and other deep sea creatures that I introduced and edited into the video to give this beautiful sound carpet. And these recordings would actually be impossible to make today due to the sonic pollution of the oceans. So I'm using older materials, but it works really nicely here in combination with these performances. And the woman wears a neoprene and a neon, kind of an orange neoprene diving suit, and has a beautiful fur hood, which is already shows the combination between indigenous ways of sensing the world and a scientific, more systematic, kind of rational recording using technological instruments. And so I think it's a combination that speaks of the body also as a cyborgian unit that connects with the natural world through technological means. Devenir Universidad is the outcome of a long-term relationship with the Museum of Art at the National University in Bogota. It is a collaboration with the Inca people of Colombia who live in the south of Colombia, in a region that was heavily hit by the armed conflict. And I was able to travel through these territories with the Inca leader who introduced me to a number of communities. I collaborated very closely with a number of them and also set up meetings. We created a whole team that was supporting the Inca education team to develop and conceive an indigenous university which works with an entirely different knowledge system. So in the end, some of my work really dealt with the dialogue between Western science and indigenous knowledge and how you could have a productive conversation between these systems. And one of the things that was really central in this whole discussion is the specific concept that the Inca or other Amazonian people as well have of the territory as a very dense relational space. And so it is not at all just a piece of land, a delineated piece of land, but it is a very living entity with whom you can get in contact and in conversation with. But out of this long-term collaboration, I also developed my own art research that we're showing here called Forest Mind. And it is a video piece, rather complex, but mainly about the intelligence of nature. And works also, again, with the Inca and some of their strong ideas about how to interact with the natural world. But it is also kind of a scientific research because I was collaborating with the department at ETH in Zurich, the National Institute for Technology and Science in Switzerland, using DNA technology. And so I took a seed from a big tree in the Amazon and we did a DNA sequencing of that seed that took several months. And this technology produces images in the making, and I'm using these images in the video then to speak about this vibrant, kind of vital aspect of DNA, which they call biophotons, a kind of a light element that is in all DNA of living matter, and that we suspect shamans are able to see under the psychoactive plant. So that's a way to understand the interaction and interconnectivity of all living things.